Oski, Sheboygan,
10 o'clock.
Mackinac City.
Want to rise
Yep.
to the pledge? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
I would like to make a motion, or not motion, but a suggestion. We need to remove the Adams Township Brown Road contract. There's an error on that, and we'll have to get back to the township before we want to approve that.
Brown Road, North Adams, Addison, 52,700?
Yes.
Yes. And I already took it out of your folder.
That's good, I can dig over them.
Yeah.
50%.
Oh,
It should be 100%. It was a cut and paste.
that's a big difference.
Yes. So we're gonna have to have a discussion with them.
You wanna come Monday night?
No additions or deletions or anything?
I'm gonna have a couple of questions probably.
Okay. All right, agenda consent approved. Approval of the minutes, regular meeting, March 28th, 2025. They look good to me. All right, those stand approved. Review and approve bills. Accounts payable dated April 3rd, regular, $166,231.23. EFTs, 77,818.21 for a total of $244,049.44.
I move we approve the bills dated April 3rd for $244,049.44.
Support.
You want a few minutes to look them over? Or
Yeah,
a couple
please.
minutes?
Who is the pre-employment drug screen?
Angie, she's covering when Karen's not here.
Angie's back.
The lady that's up front right now working.
Angie's back, Angie used to work here.
Yeah.
For
She
100
used to
years.
work. in
Before
that
my
job.
time,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
She was-
All right.
She was here when Dude was a pup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lawler.
Okay.
She knows that position well. She's filling in when Karen's not here.
Okay. I see we also bought some salt. I thought we were done buying salt.
That was the last of the invoices that were already bought.
We're at this point, what we have is what we have for salt until next year when
Was that just our 80% of
we went over 100% of what we asked
one
for.
over 100? Oh,
So we got everything that we needed.
okay, good.
But we're also pretty full.
All the outlying garages are, we could take a little bit more here, but we're good to start the next year.
We're not empty or
No.
anywhere near it. That, yeah, that's kind of my point.
I call collect this contract charges.
Yes, he's our attorney.
Right, I know that. But $8,000 for our contract?
Between contract and grievance negotiations or grievance procedures.
There was a lot of grievance.
I will say we're down to one,
Yeah.
and I'm hopeful that'll get withdrawn, and we're done for now.
So do all of our trucks take the DEF fluid?
Probably not all of them, but most.
Most of them are.
And most of our any of the diesel equipment that's anywhere being somewhat new.
The graders will all do that.
Everything.
So is the backhoes. Unfortunately.
Mhm.
What year? 2015?
The finals here for is at least 15.
Yeah. When anything newer than that has to have depth on it, unless it's 75 horsepower or less. and then all it is regen. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, cause that tractor I bought a 75 horser, so I didn't have to get, I bought a 90 horse, I had to get DEF. And I didn't want DEF.
Any questions on the bills? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries.
Do we have three sets that have a place for signatures?
We took
That's
yours out,
payroll.
we weren't
You
sure
did,
what
yeah,
time
you
you were
were
gonna
here.
be here.
Okay.
You weren't here, we weren't sure what time you were showing up, so we absconded with them.
So we signed for you.
You signed for me.
No, we did not sign for you. No.
I was just gonna ask, can I get you to pay the rest of my bills?
No,
No,
we
no,
actually-
no, no, no.
actually, Gary, we took out a loan in your name.
It wasn't a very big one.
This gets worse.
For the parks.
Yeah, for the most part.
That's payroll.
Should know
You guys are full of it today.
Not really. Just commenting, that's all. Any more to sign?
I think, maybe,
I
I
think
don't know, maybe it's a roll, we'll see.
it's all been signed.
Looks like 5 of them on that one.
Yeah, I'm just looking for me, that's all. Looking out for me.
I wasn't looking for me, I was looking for like 5 different sets, and I think I saw 5 different sets. So I don't know what's on there, but there were 5 different sets, I think, if I counted right.
I'm actually looking for my agenda.
Right there. Agenda,
Oh,
right
that's
there.
there. All right. Payroll dated April 10th for $117,230.29.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
I think that one's done.
Yep.
That's you, right? Yep.
That's it. Treasurer's report.
Beginning cash and investment balance is $1,896,449.56. Total receipts was $196,138.10. Total bills and payroll is $361,279.73. Bonds in escrow is $10,250. CD reserved for 2 trucks is $675,405.86. Ending available fund balance is $1,045,652.07. And outstanding accounts payable is a negative $2,984.89.
Any questions?
So other than Allen Township on the bridge that they're making payments over 2 or 3 years, do we have any other outstanding
I have
receivables
one
from
for
townships?
Genesee, gravel, for the gravel. And I was gonna let you know, I haven't cleared our deposits, our MTF that we got for this month is not in here, which is an additional $818,000, and some I just haven't, I have to
That
get
makes
rid
me
of.
feel better.
Yes,
Me too.
I was like, I brought it just in case, because,
But I think Alan and Genesee are the only ones, and Alan's
Oh,
planning
thank
to pay off the bridge this year.
mhm.
And I think Genesee.
And I gotta talk to Genesee, why, cause they paid for the ditch and berm
Yeah.
part of it, and this is the gravel for the ditch and
And
berm.
that's Litchfield Township. Tennessee.
I think it's bad.
Tennessee's that.
Fayette Township.
That's it.
We normally have a public comment in between,
Mhm.
we don't,
What is that?
that's the last one.
You got two on yours?
It's double-sided.
What?
Yeah, so there's two public comments.
Here's the two,
Where's the two?
where's the first?
Top of the second
Look
page,
at it, right here, under the contract.
where's the first one?
The first one's,
Public comments right
Under-
after the standing
That's
order.
why-
So
oh,
public
yeah,
comment
here.
is next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, next page.
Can I go back to the bills?
Yes.
In looking at them last night, I thought I saw that we paid some more inspection fees for territorial road bridges.
Mm-hmm.
What were those about? I thought we were all done with that.
They're we've done with, oh, go ahead.
Okay, they're closing out the project, so that's it. It's not inspecting on the bridge, it's just doing the paperwork to close out the project with MDOT and the federal aid.
So why is there an inspection?
It's just what it's called.
All there, from Manic Smith, they were there for the inspection. So
They're
that,
closing out the inspection criteria that they did.
do all the paperwork and
So
all
they
that.
get paid to do that as well, not just come
Yeah.
out and do physical
Yeah,
inspection?
yeah, they have to do the closeout with MDOT.
Okay, all right.
This should be, I keep saying, that should be about it for them, because once they close it out, that's button it up and we're done.
And did I see a hazardous material permit?
That
with
was for
regard
territorial road
Yes,
bridge.
yes, and that
that-
was the other one.
That was for 2024, cause they bill
Late.
afterwards.
Okay,
Yes,
All right.
and since it's not closed out with MDOT, it's still open. So as long as, until it's closed out with MDOT, which is not us,
right.
we will still,
You pay an annual, you pay that annually,
Yes.
and that's why another one came up.
correct.
So now that the closeout happened, it should
It's
be
not, closeout's not
Not
totally
official.
done, there is still,
the paperwork is
I've
done.
not
But we
received-
shouldn't see one next year because it'll be closed out before.
Okay, well, I was just surprised to see those costs on that territorial bridge, given that it was done.
We had the
Last
same
year.
thing on Montgomery Road.
Okay, all right,
Paperwork takes a long time to,
Yeah, to catch up.
yeah, before my time.
All right, public comment. You're up.
I don't know where to start really. I don't know I got a whole list of stuff that I could say, but I mean, I don't get half of it. Does anyone drive around the gravel roads, you know? It's like I was telling you, I mean, 3/4 of the spots, if someone would stop in the rainstorm, when you can see the water is clear across the road, this much dirt needs removed, you know, 2 shovels, and the whole road would be dry. Are we that lazy? You just said, we got 34 people, what are they doing right now? I haven't seen a road graded in a month, it's been raining, so what is 34 people doing? How many cold patch trucks is there? You know, you got 3 guys in each cold patch truck, you know? It's like, what are they doing now?
We don't comment on public comment.
I don't know, you know?
So I have a question, so.
Yeah,
um,
you know, Gary, you're down around that area, I mean,
Okay,
do
so-
you drive around?
Yeah, I do. What's your name? And,
Levi Percy.
okay.
It's just, I mean, it's on and on, stuff like that. Like I said, the mower guy, I mean, why is the ditch mower guy mowing 8-inch cedar trees? Does anyone train him? Why is he mowing down the high-speed internet signs? I clean up ditches, trash from Frontier all the way, everywhere. And it's just ridiculous that guy would mow this signs down. I don't understand that. I picked up 3 spots where he just went boom, right over them signs, and there's 80 pieces of metal flying. Didn't we have, how long ago was it when, I mean, I don't know who all was here, but on Montgomery Road, didn't Hamilton kill someone down there mowing with her own sign? My buddy's mom, yeah, shot her own road, her own driveway marker at her and killed her. It's like, have some common sense, you know? And these trees that are leaning over the road that are just dangerous everywhere, they're everywhere. There's trees, like I told you, I jumped one, it fell right in front of me last June when the wind was blowing, and I got over to the small limb where it was like this big instead of the tree was this big. I jumped it and landed out in the field. literally in the field and got back in the road. And I had another one just fall in front of me on Camden Road. It's just stupid stuff like that. And like Camden Road between Tripp and Gilbert Road, it's a lake. The berm is this much higher than the road. I mean, I understand the road is dipped down a couple, 3 inches. There's gonna be water in the road. But when the berm, the whole thing is this much higher on both sides, there was a van just flipped over there because it filled up with water and then refroze. And then they come flying down through there and they hit it. And there he was, skiffed over in the road, flipped over. I mean, is it that? How hard is it to take a truck down through there and scrape that berm? The road's this much higher than the ditch, the ditch is dry, the only water is in the road. Drive a truck down through there, it's gonna take, how long is it gonna take it to de-berm 2 miles right there? Don't even need all of it, just between the woods is right there. I mean, how long is that actually gonna take to drive a truck? It ain't even physical labor for someone. Drive your big truck, the big scraper thing, and push the berm down in the ditch, and then the water run. I mean, it's just common sense stuff like that. Do they get training? And like when they're grading the road, like say, when there's that much, and the road drops off 6 feet, why don't they, in the spring, before, my road got graded 3 times in March, the very first week of March, or 10 days or whatever, 3 times. The first time, if they would have went through with the big truck that they used and actually did the berm, most of the berm is stoned where you guys threw it off from plowing snow. Where it's only a little bit, pull it back into the road. That'd be the only fill that was put in the road in 10 years, and then actually put some stone in it, If they did that first and then graded one more time, they wouldn't have to grade 3 times. Or then like right now, when it's been raining for a month, the road wouldn't be shot. It wouldn't be a lake. The water would have ran off because you had it de-bermed first time. I mean, it's just senseless stuff like that.
We gotta cut it off, it's 5-minute limit.
All right, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Manager's comments, you're up.
All right, well. Start with a few things here. We already talked about the Adams Township contract on Brown Road. They can remove off the agenda, so that's good. The Elm Road Bridge, we resent an email to Eagle regarding the mussel survey. We're still waiting on them to give us a yay or nay on that. The only way we can do a mussel survey is in June and July. So if we miss that window, you wait another year to do it. So we're hounding them now to get,
Right.
whether we need it or not, we're getting them to tell us so that in June or July we can have it done and be done with it. Other than that, I think that's the main thing. That's the holdup on Elm Road. The Buckeye Road culvert, we're getting quotes. Well, it's just Buckeye and Somerset. Somerset, the one that's closed.
Yeah.
We're getting quotes from a couple engineering firms to build those packages. We don't have the capability to do it, and I think Charlie and Jackson, they're overwhelmed right now. So we reached out to a couple different places, Trent, that used to do some of the work for us when he was with the county.
Right.
His company and a couple companies like that, just to get quotes to see where we're sitting to get that done.
Where's the culvert on Buckeye Road?
West of Bird Lake.
West of Bird Lake.
Okay, how big a one is it? Approximately, you don't know.
I'd be lying to you if I told you the size.
Not really.
It's not a real huge one. It's probably even under 36 for for us, but I can check on that.
You might get a text.
Yeah. She hears us a lot. Let's see, moving on. The 2024 federal aid project, which is Camden Road, Pittsburgh to Tripp, that's 2 miles. They're scheduled to start the first week of May or in May and complete by June 20th. We've got to go in there ourselves and cut out the shoulders. We'll key out the shoulders. They'll do their work and then we'll come back and finish up the shoulders. the 2025 federal aid, which is the Concord, Jonesville, and Harrington. The bid was let on April 4th. Lakeland Asphalt got the bid. So
Never heard of them.
they're out of Battle Creek.
Mm.
So they actually got the bid for that. I guess one thing I do want to mention to you is, hopefully it's not going to be a big deal, is the bid for the Camden Road project we gave it to Michigan Paving. And they recently came back with asking for a contract modification, saying they're not making that mix of asphalt this year. And so they replaced it with the mixes that they are making and then bumped up the prices. And we're
I
like,
think it
no.
should be the same price, yeah.
No, so we sent it back, and we went back through Charlie, because he was involved with that too. And basically there's two things, either they give us the mix that we asked for, which they don't plan on making, or they give us the mix that they're gonna do at the same prices that they gave us on that, or we'll have to go back and look and rebid it to Gherkin. Gherkin was the next one.
So not rebid it, just,
I believe we should be able
Award
to award it, but according to Charlie, MDOT just will not allow, because this has federal aid money tied to it, will not allow that contract modification to happen like that. Either you hold your bid and you may get a better product for that price, or we'll deal with other things.
Right.
So that could come into play, but I got a feeling from just some brief talking with Michigan Paving, they're gonna honor those prices.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
So, just so you know, that's out there. Let's see.
Question,
Mhm.
sorry. The Concord Road, Jonesville Road, and Third Road was?
Harrington.
Harrington. Okay, now the question is, in the packet I got in the email, there was something that we were supposed to approve, but that's with the state. But if I heard you right, did the state award the bids to do those jobs? I thought you said the bids were awarded.
For,
they were rewarded. So
Awarded.
now we have to do,
yes, because those also have federal aid money, so it goes through the bid process.
At
and
the state level.
Yes.
MDOT
Okay.
awards the bid.
So, now that I know that, my concern with that is that I believe on Millens Road, when that did the inch low overlay or whatever, and they were responsible for doing the shoulders, they did a poor job on those shoulders. So what oversight do we have that those shoulders will be done correctly? Because I think on Melms Road, they did not make sure the shoulders were cut down so water could get to the ditches. And I don't want that to happen again.
Well, that'd be on us to inspect it. We'll have an inspector out there.
That was the road commission that did that.
So
The
whoever
road
here's the
commission
time,
did-
On Millens Road.
They didn't do the shoulders, contractor did the
but
shoulders.
they have
No,
inspected.
they had a county road commission motor grader that did the original cuts.
The final, when after the cap was done and they went in and put the gravel along the road, that wasn't road commission.
No, that was Gherkin, but the original cut was still left there because it was in my aunt's yard.
But our inspector should have inspected it.
Correct.
Just like
So
when
what are
we did,
we- so what
when
are
we
we-
did Sock Trail, we sent our inspector out there to inspect it.
So what are we gonna do to make sure it gets done right? Cause I don't think Millens Road was done right. 'Cause
I can't speak for
that's
Wells
horrible.
Road, but
Yeah, that was,
we do have inspectors that go out there now. Chris Smith is one of them that we use
Okay,
to.
but you can speak to what we're gonna do to, what procedures or policies are in place to make sure it gets done appropriately, because I don't wanna hear after it's done that, oh, well, we missed that. I don't wanna hear that anymore.
I'll have an inspector out there.
It will
And
be
there's certain
done.
criteria they've gotta do.
Well, we had inspectors on the last ones and they weren't done.
A lot of things have been done in the past that should have been done.
That was under a former administrator.
there you go, there's your problem.
All I can say is what I intend to have them do now. And between Heather and the inspector, which right now is
We
Chris.
can't hold the previous manager responsible, but we can hold this manager responsible.
Do you know when Millens Road was done?
It was about
20,
21.
no, it was
it was done in two sections. The,
Yeah.
the southern 2 miles was done like I wanna say in 2020, and I thought the northern section was done in 2022, but I don't know that those are absolutely correct.
2020, 2022.
That-
So anyway, so the other,
That would be my guess.
She wasn't here.
well, the
No,
culvert
she's
on
here.
Buckeye is a 10-foot span, 6.6 tall, and 38 foot long.
Was that your text?
So that is a pretty good sized culvert if it's,
Yeah.
you said what, 6.6?
It's a 10-foot span, so it's
Yeah.
like an arch, you know, so it's 6.67 tall, 10 foot wide. So it is a fairly decent sized culvert, and 38 foot long. The state, yes, does award the bids on the federal aid. We'll use the state spec book for the inspections. And she says that part of the time frame was not her.
You talk
but-
about passing the buck.
Well,
So, I don't know, I can't answer that one.
And yes, I was here, but I don't do inspections.
Okay. Do you have any other questions on those?
no.
Okay, so my question's gonna be on, when those are done, there shouldn't be any berms on those roads.
No.
And water should be able to get to the ditches.
Exactly.
And so we as, what are we here? We are commissioners here, trying to use the right word.
Yes, you're not
I
trustee.
changed my hat, okay. So we as commissioners should have a drive-by after a rainy day on those roads to make sure the job was done properly.
Sure.
I'd actually like to see that once.
Why didn't you do it?
What's that?
Why didn't you do
I wasn't a road
it?
commissioner
You
at the
was county
time.
commissioner.
County commissioners don't do the roads.
I would gladly
It
take
comes
them
back to me, because I'm the liaison.
And he
So
was
there.
the liaison at the time.
I'll take it.
So, anytime any of you wanna go on a ride along, I'll take you out there, we'll go.
Well, when those are done,
Will
I
you
would
bring
like
us
that.
back, though?
We'll see what we find.
Oh.
But no, they've got a spec book they gotta go by, and I can't say what they went by before, but I haven't had an issue with the inspector since I've been here, so we've had two that we've used of the guys.
Okay. Because my point being is if we're doing this, it'd be nice to get some small section of roads done properly, so the water is properly getting off.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I even agree with that.
All right,
Point well made.
the stump drain on 99. We've been having, they actually got a contractor now set up, and
That's the one down,
North of Camden,
Yeah.
in Camden.
yeah, where we put the flowable fill in,
yeah, and actually the other side is now
Yeah.
needing
going in,
Yeah,
and
okay.
so we don't even know what's in the center at this point. Once you fill this side and this side goes in, there's probably nothing in the center.
Wasn't the culvert just plugged after the road was blocked off for a year, and then the culvert was plugged on the west side, cause now it's a lake, on the east side of the road is a lake.
Okay.
So nothing got done for a year, except for the road got blocked off, and then filled it, which could did that one day, the day they put the stop sign up.
Go ahead, Tom.
Solfarski excavation was
Slarski.
awarded, what's that?
Solarski?
Slusarski?
That's from Adrian.
Yeah,
Solfarski, yeah. Was
Slusarski.
awarded the contract, for this one and the culvert on 49 south of Litchfield. So they're gonna wind up doing both of them, just different time probably. They haven't provided a progress schedule yet. They're expected to start work mid-July. And we're trying to make sure we coordinate with them, as when they're gonna do that, so we're not trying to do territorial at the same time.
Oh,
We don't need that ugly.
That would be a mess.
Let's see. Some of their work will start in May, that'll be outside the right of way, cause they gotta do stuff with the drain and probably to get the water outside of the right of way for the drain commission going right before we deal with the right of way.
it'll be chopped.
And it's probably dewatering, utility work, stuff like that.
Is that kind of an open bid for price?
What's that?
Is that kind of an open bid for price?
I don't know what the price or anything was,
Sorry.
that went through MDOT, it's an MDOT road.
I'm sure it's a lot.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure it is.
So it went through MDOT with coordination with the county drain commission?
Yes, because that's a county drain, so MDOT controls the right of way, but outside of that, the drain commission has to be involved.
Right.
They're only worried about, that's why both have to.
Right.
But the drain commissioner is kind of coordinating the whole thing.
He is coordinating the
Yes.
whole thing, and so is the cost share, not that it's on us, but is the cost share partially with the county and with MDOT, or is MDOT
MDOT
shouldering the whole thing?
MDOT totally takes that right away.
100%.
Now, I don't know about what the drain commissioner needs to do outside of that.
Okay.
That'll be on them.
That'll be on.
But in the right of way, MDOT totally.
It's MDOT, that's gonna be a high dollar
Oh, yeah,
item.
oh, yeah.
Wow.
It'll
They
probably
made
go over a million.
the drain commissioner the project manager of it, you know, MDOT did.
So anyway, just,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
gonna be going in July-ish, when they start working on the road, they'll be doing stuff outside the right of way before that. So going back to, I guess I didn't hit Territorial Road yet, did I?
No.
So the tube will be ready. We just need to coordinate with the company to have it trucked in here so that the day it gets here, we have a crane sitting here, everything's already dug out. Then when it gets here, we'll take the tube, put it right in the hole and start doing the backfill. So it's gonna be closed Territorial's gonna be closed for probably up to 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Mhm.
Yeah, you gotta dig it out, put it in and fill it back in.
When you and I had talked about this before, there was no indication it was gonna be 3 weeks.
No, that's
I don't understand why I should take 3 weeks.
a big tube.
It's a big tube,
So,
but
that's worst case scenario, is 3 weeks. We're hoping for 2, but I'm calling it 3 because I know it seems to go there. So
stuff
now
happens.
we're working with
Mhm.
ODOT to detour the traffic onto 20 down in Ohio and then back up on 49. So it'll be 49 to 20 to
27.
27, yeah. So, let's see.
Timeframe. On that.
That will be fairly soon here this year. I mean, we're gonna be done and over with well before mid-July, so I'm talking probably mid-May to mid-June. And hopefully we have it in there somewhere to have it done.
It's weather permitting,
Yeah, weather dictates a lot, but.
I like to say it before I fail.
That's what, third? No, that's, how long is that culvert?
Sure.
Cause they had to get a special trailer to deliver it.
Yes, it's
71 or 72 foot long.
like 70 foot long for
So you're gonna have to shake.
the entire thing and have it sitting there ready.
That's a lot of dirt to be moved, Gary.
Cause, and the depth of it makes it get stepped back so that they aren't working in,
You can't have a key.
and then enclosed.
No problem, well, yeah, they'll have to have,
A crane.
Oh yeah, the crane has to be sitting here waiting for
yeah.
that truck to show up.
So
So once it's set, once the truck gets here, once the crane is set, they're done. It's all on us at that point to
fill it in.
seed it and backfill it. Alright.
Well, we need a time frame when we don't get 4 inches of rain like we had
That's
before.
correct, we don't need that.
Because that project won't happen.
Don't be doing any rain dances, you know.
Alright. Let's see.
Even if the beans are
I
dry.
do have a question back to that, I guess. Why, in terms of a detour, as far as going clear to 20, doesn't 127 Camden Road and west to 99 and back south to Territorial?
Well, it's mainly for the truck traffic. Keep the truck traffic on those highways. The local guys and the local people, they're gonna find their way around it exactly the way they always will. They'll even use gravel roads. But to keep the truck traffic off of that, Camden, gonna need some work too. So. We sat and looked at it, we contacted ODOT, they were okay with it, cause they've transferred some of their stuff in the past. They didn't have an issue with it, and that would keep the trucks on trunk lines. Let's see, moving on, we're gonna have, just to let you know, we'll be adding a few things to our paint program. Mainly, we've got some either missing, like markings for schools, it's mainly schools. There's some new schools that have gone in, which include Amish schools, have to have those markings, and so you're gonna see a bunch of those, and we've been working with the OHSP, whatever the grant thing that's dealing with a lot of the Amish safety issues. But that's one of the things that they brought up too, is the school markings for all the new Amish schools. Are supposed to be getting us a listing of where they're all at, which ones per se closed, so we don't have to redo those, but new ones so that we can mark school zones and have signage and stuff for school, because they fall under exactly the same thing as any other school. I think there's actually a couple even like religious type schools that have gone in a couple places that we have to deal with too, so, just so you know. We're still waiting on, I believe it's Mercer to redo their quote for the fuel pumps, because as we assumed, we got back in touch with them, finally sat down and talked with them. They were missing some items, that's why their quote was so much less than the other quote. So they're redoing it to have apples to apples quotes, and then we'll see where we go from there.
If they already quoted it, can they do that?
If you take their quote, you're not gonna get what you want done, because that's what they quoted.
So we
'Cause
didn't,
they quoted specific tax.
and we
that's-
didn't realize it didn't cover the whole thing?
Well, we knew something was up when they were so far off, and so that's why we've been
Okay.
trying, and it's just a quote.
There wasn't a bid.
This is
Right,
gonna
right,
have
right.
to go to a bid,
Yeah, yeah,
because it's gonna
okay,
be that
yeah,
price.
Yeah, I'm with you,
So
yeah,
we're kinda trying to see where we stand.
Right.
And
and then get
good.
okay,
Um,
thanks for the clarification.
As far as negotiations are going, I think we're moving forward. Maybe not as fast as what we'd like to see, and especially what the association would like to see. We met the other day, came up with a couple more agreements. We're gonna meet again next week. And then on the 21st is negotiations that will involve the mediator and our attorney, their rep.
Will that be the first time that we've met with a mediator?
Now that'll be the third time. So hopefully we got, I would have to say 85 to 90% of the contract TA. It's really those sticking points, and I'm gonna meet with all the guys next week to go back over the classification portion that we presented, and then we'll meet with the bargaining committee board, the board members, and then on the 21st, hopefully we can TA a few of those things. There's still a few things that are hanging out there that I think the mediator's gonna have to get in and at least do something as far as guidance, but we'll see how that goes. I will probably after the 21st, I'll be asking for a closed session to go over it with you guys on the 24th meeting. So, don't expect that.
Good.
And that should give us a pretty good idea of where we stand at that point. Yes, the Southeast District Road Agencies, I guess they changed the name from Southeast Council.
Southeast District.
That's what the flyer has, is actually May 5th, Monday, May 5th. and it's at Monroe County, and we got the address in here. $20 per person that wants to go, and we just need to know so we can RSVP.
There you go, Kathy.
You go home.
Yeah, you're right back in,
Haven't been there in 40
Jim,
years.
what's it called now?
So it's the Southeastern District Road Agencies. And so one of the blurbs on here says, attaches the meeting agenda as voted on and approved on January 29th, 2024. There will no longer be minutes kept for these meetings for Southern District County Road Agencies. There is no specific program for this meeting. We'll have a roundtable discussion. So they're kind of changing from a more of a formal, Southeast Council to, everybody still found the benefit of getting the counties together in the general areas and meeting, and I think we'll see where it goes from there. I'm not sure.
What is that, like 9 in the morning, 10?
9, Continental breakfast is 9 to 9:30, call to order is 9:30, then they'll have a lunch, and,
And a lunch.
yeah, so for $20 you get 2.
Turn it over. There's information on that side.
so it
That's
starts
the
at
agenda.
what, 9 then?
Sounds like 9
Yes,
o'clock.
If you want breakfast.
if you want. So they do have kind of an agenda, calling out who all will be there. It'll be the same counties basically, Monroe, Lenawee, Jackson, Ingham, Hillsdale,
Oh, yeah.
Calhoun, and Branch,
You gonna drive me down there?
I can
and
drive down
then
there.
Washington
I
on.
borrow my wife's car, she won't be home anyway, so I guess I can take that.
Well, what's wrong with your truck?
Well, we're going to a formal meeting and everything, you take the car, you know?
It's gonna get better gas mileage.
Yeah, it does, it gets.
Kathy's probably rode in a farmer's pickup before.
Hey, if it gets me from point A to point B, I'll ride in almost anything.
There,
I'm
There
not
you go,
fussy.
my wife's car gets 30-some miles a gallon, my truck gets about 16, so there's your answer, Gary.
So I have a question for you, Kathy. Do you, just in general, I'm not familiar with Monroe County at all. Where is the road commission facility located, you know?
US 24.
Telegraph Road.
Yeah.
Is it north or south of town?
It'll actually be at the Frenchtown Charter Township Municipal Center.
Oh, they changed it, so we're not home.
Oh,
I do
Okay.
have more information here if we're done talking about fuel mileage.
Okay.
So
We've done talking
who
about
wants to go? Or if you gotta check into it, I need to know by beginning of next week so we can have a check ready.
Well, I guess Kathy and I are going.
Yep, I'll put that on my agenda, I won't go up north until the second, but.
Okay.
It's Cinco de Mayo too.
Okay.
Ooh, we got tacos.
And I'll let you know who
better
I'm.
not go
Yeah.
outside.
You already gave me a list.
Yeah, you probably better.
You got that?
No,
Alright.
but now.
So add these 3.
So to answer your question, Gary, I don't know where the road commission is in Monroe, that's how long
And
I've
it sounds
been
like
out of town.
we're not even gonna meet it.
No, we're not gonna meet at the road.
So it'll be at 2619 North Dixie Highway.
Oh, that's
Is that still 24?
the 24.
Yeah.
North of town.
So that's north of 50 then.
So the same, like, entities will still be there to give their briefs, like MDOT, CRA, McChrysip, CRASIP, all them, the wetland board. They'll have committee reports like normal, agency reports as normal. Looks like Senator Joe
Polino,
Bolino will be
Ah,
there.
Joe's gonna be there.
really from Monroe.
Yeah, his hometown.
He should show up.
And then it looks like the next one is actually at Washington County on Monday, August 4th. And we'll get into that when it gets closer.
Okay.
I'm gonna be up north.
Yeah, I can drive. I think I might know how to get there. The FSA office is South Monroe County Road Commission. I've been there a couple times.
You can get in there.
LaSalle that I pronounced his name wrong, and he corrected me.
All right, I guess I'm on to my last one, is I would like to ask for permission to adjust or change Heather's job description from project manager to assistant manager. And then put the safety position under her and change her to salary to match the two foreman's positions that are over those sections.
I thought we was gonna do that long ago.
I didn't wanna do anything until we kind of get an idea of where we stand with negotiations and things like that, cause that could affect it, but I think we're at a point where we're gonna do as good as we can with the negotiations, and she's been doing a lot over and above what we originally hired her to do. I think she's ready, and I think we need to do some succession planning, cause I'm under about 2 years left, and
You're not gonna be here forever?
no.
What the heck?
2 years might be forever for some of us.
That hurt.
Well, I'm not saying you.
A slap in the face now.
What just
Oh.
do to us
No,
down
that's not what I meant.
Have another donut.
I meant that I may not still be breathing in 2 years.
Oh.
Tomorrow isn't promised.
I've heard term limits.
But
When you say that, okay.
but there's so many things that you guys know that only happen once a year here, and if you're not involved with it, you just, now, I will say Heather has a good jump on it. I still don't know when that time comes, whether we need to put it out for bid, or not bid, but advertisement, or
I think if
How we-
she's assistant, I think we can work around that legally.
well,
We'll
and that's
talk.
totally up
We
to
need to
you.
make sure.
We'll talk to
Yes.
Clark about
And we
that.
need to see at that point, how things went, I don't know. But that'll be totally, your decision. Hopefully I've got some
Well, theoretically,
say so, but,
at least you would have, experience
and if not, yes.
going into
And
it.
at least nothing else, in that position, you would have, the knowledge and experience staying there.
I think it's a good idea.
One of the sessions that I went to at the road conference was on succession planning. And did you happen to get in on that one, Mark?
No, I was on evaluating the manager.
Okay. All right. So succession planning, one of the things that stuck out to me, and there were two presenters. One was Larry Brown,
Oh,
who
yeah.
we contracted with after a former manager left. And then the other guy is a professor in the School of Business at Michigan
No, I
State
didn't know
University.
that. Come to think of it.
And he talked about, started right off, said that it doesn't matter, what the organization is, any sizable organization, if you change managers and you don't have a succession plan in place, that you can figure that in that first year, it's gonna cost you 2 to 3 times the cost of what you're currently paying your manager, till you work through all of the issues that you're gonna deal with. And I've seen that happen in school districts, I've seen it happen in numerous other places, and we saw it happen right here with the situation that we went through, former manager. So, it's something that we need to do.
I will say I'm in favor of changing it to assistant manager. I'm not in favor of changing it to salary. I just think it should stay the way it is and she gets paid for overtime. But that's my take on that.
So you're asking for a motion?
I would like, yes. Now the reason, I got a couple reasons of where I wanted to see her. I personally think in the long run, she needs to be, for that position needs to be like equal to Katie. I think that is
What?
equal to Katie's position.
Oh.
But I think that needs to be in steps. So the lowest step we've got right now are the two foremen that are working with all the guys. And so that's where I originally said, you know, just put her into there, and there could be a step or two to get to that point
Later down the road.
later down the road, over the next year and a half, 2 years. So that's kind of my plan, and I just want to propose it to you guys.
Before I would wanna go forward, I would like to see the dollar numbers and see what you're proposing and where we get there and what it looks like. I would rather make a decision based on information as to what is gonna happen versus, well, this is what I'm thinking.
Well, I guess I can give you some numbers if you want, but. So to put where I'm wanting to see her would bump her equal to the foreman, which is 83,928. And I think
So she is.
you're at 86.
I think it's, yeah.
So there's, I mean, that's not a huge gap there, but,
And what does she make currently?
oh, I mean, shoot. Give me a second. Didn't need to go. Let's see. It'd be roughly 63,860.
And that's with her overtime?
Yes.
Bob and I discussed this quite a bit. My concern is, if we don't get her into that position soon, let's say Bob went headed home, got a head-on collision. We're in the same boat we're in with that last man. It's not gonna happen, but,
Alright.
Well, I mean,
It's gonna be a long 2 years, I'm getting killed.
let's
Hey,
be,
that's the valuation.
but let's be realistic. I mean, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow
No.
here on this earth.
No.
And, yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. And I think the longer that she can work in a role where she has the opportunity to learn all of the aspects of the manager's job, the better off she will be and the better off we will be down the road.
I can't go through not having an manager like we did last time.
We'd be losing Bob.
Yes, you would.
No, I think Heather's actually earned a lot of the respect of everyone here too.
She's got a lot of years.
Yes.
She's got a lot of
She
years.
got a lot of years, a lot of knowledge. What she didn't have was a lot of things were held back by the previous managers, because that was like my
That's my
Yeah.
word.
ball of wax.
He would have felt threatened.
Yes,
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I need to work myself out of a job. Once, pass things to Katie, pass things to Kevin, pass things to Heather, I'm no longer needed here, I retired.
Don't be passing anything to me.
I don't,
But, and the one thing that she needs is, she's been involved with all the negotiations going on. So that's part of the dealing with the people. That's the part she doesn't necessarily have the experience with. But I would look you guys, every one of you in the eye and say, I think she could do perfectly fine, as long as she gets that personnel thing under her belt.
And she won't get that until we make a move like this.
Well, that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing she's already getting trained.
But I meant as far as.
She has picked up anything I've asked her to do and things I haven't even asked her to do. She picks up and runs with it, so I cannot complain whatsoever.
What I was speaking about was the negotiations piece of it.
Oh, yeah.
And she's already been a part of that, so I'm saying she's getting the training.
This is the first time.
Yes, and if I hadn't already started her, I won't be around for the next one.
Well, no, I
So
agree.
Nobody other
right.
than Katie will even have any knowledge of what happened.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, I get it. My point is changing her salary and the name of her position won't change what she's being trained for. That's what I'm saying.
No, but it'll compensate her for what she is doing
And I think,
and what she's expected to do in the future.
I think she needs.
because right now it's not in her job description, she's not required to do any of this, she could say no. Well, I don't wanna say no.
She wouldn't.
She wouldn't.
But anyway, so that's,
I would move that we, move Heather to the position of the assistant, manager for the road commission and set the salary at the amount recommended by our manager.
Support.
Any more discussion? Kathy, I can see a frown.
I know how I'm gonna vote, so.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same?
Nay.
All right. Glad I didn't have to vote.
and with that said, I believe that's all I've got.
Thank God.
You got any questions?
No?
No question.
So under old business, I was at the Amboy Township meeting last night,
What meeting you're in?
Campbell,
Campbell, okay.
and the supervisor brought up the situation at Sellers Road and East Diane Drive with our friend who took his dozer last fall and filled in the ditch. And you two plus Bob may not be aware that East Diane Drive was a special assessment on the property owners for 10 years. And the supervisor happens to live on Lake Diane. And he says, this thing has to be corrected because it's creating problems on East Diane Drive with what that guy did, and it's creating problems on Sellers Road too. And so, he said he would do it. Here we are, 6 months after he created the problem. And there have been opportunities since the frost went out this spring that he could have got the job done.
It's been totally too muddy the entire time.
Well, there was a period of time a month ago when I hauled manure, and I had a son-in-law who planted some soybeans. And if this guy would have been on the spot, he could have done work there. I know it's too muddy now, because we just had 4 inches of rain in the last 10
You've
days.
talked to him lately, just lately.
I've met with him several times. That's actually when I found the Hillsdale Road too.
That needs to be
Failed.
replaced.
I've talked to him several times and we've got an agreement that as soon as it's dry enough, or he's not creating a bigger